I hear him. And ladies and gentlemen, from the right, in the North American AT-6 Texan, in the lead, Kevin Russo, followed by Ed Nagle. It's an old habit with me. When the heavy metal warbirds come through, I let you hear the engines, because these airplanes, well, I hate to say it, but sooner or later, a lot of these World War II vintage airplanes will be relegated to museums, including the AT-6s, because the two things that are going to put these airplanes on the ground are fuel costs and insurance. We can find people to repair them, we can get parts made, we can teach people to fly them. But if the insurance costs too much, it's just not worth it. So coming around here from the left-hand side, get those cameras and camcorders ready as Kevin Russo and Ed Nagle come through here with their North American AT-6 Texans. Let's listen to the sound of the Pratt & Whitney R1340 radial engine. The North American T-6, SNJ, or Harvard Texan was one of the most important aircraft developed during the 1930s. As an advanced trainer for the military, the AT-6 for the Army, SNJ for the Navy, and Harvard for Canada featured retractable landing gear, increased power, 600 horsepower to be exact, and more sophisticated controls, as well as two .30 caliber machine guns, gun camera, and bomb rack fittings. Throughout its career, the AT-6 served as a trainer for instrument flight, aerobatics, bombing, gunnery, and equipped with a tailhook as an aircraft for carrier qualifications. Coming in from the right, Kevin Russo, Ed Nagle, the North American AT-6. 1,200 Pratt & Whitney horsepower just thundered by. Now, several nations employed the Texan as a fighter and a bomber, and even a Mexican T-6 is credited with the sinking of a German U-boat during World War II. The Texan was used by Israel, French, and South African Air Force as a ground attack and forward air control aircraft into the 1960s. From the left, Kevin Russo, Ed Nagle. Only one word to describe the sound of the song of combustion from those engines, and that is just beautiful. More than 50 years after its introduction, 14 countries are still using the Texan in some capacity, with its use in combat documented into the 1980s. These aircraft were surplused in great numbers after the war for prices as low as a couple of $100. To buy one today that has been restored like Kevin Russo's SNJ6 can cost close to $250,000. The Texan has proven to be one of the more durable and popular warbirds in the air. Of the 15,000 plus made, only about 400 are still airworthy today, so they are getting a little on the rare side. And this airplane was also the next step up for those who wanted to get into the North American P-51 Mustang. From the right on a photo pass, everybody, the North American AT-6, Kevin Russo and Ed Nagle. Well, now we talked about aerobatics in this. I have the great privilege of logging an hour in the AT-6. I backed into a ride a bunch of years ago down in Jackson, Tennessee, where I was in the front cockpit and actually got to roll a T-6. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, the airplane is an absolute delight to fly. Control forces very harmonized. The ailerons don't even feel like they're connected. But yet, the airplane rolls around very nicely.